Hey Year 7s, and welcome to our last video in our algebra series looking at exercise 5G, as you can see written here already. And here we are looking at applying algebra. And it sort of goes back to our very first exercise where we looked at worded expressions and then trying to change them into algebraic expressions, like 2 times a number plus 15. Or 15 is added to 2 times a number. All right, it's that type of stuff, but using it in more real life situations. Just a little bit of a description here about it. So an algebraic expression can be used to describe problems relating to many different areas, including costs, speeds, sporting results, and there's a lot of other things as well. All right, much of modern science relies on the application of algebraic rules and formulae, and you'd find there'd be a lot of other areas like business and finance, and even some trades rely on algebra and algebraic expressions. Trades like builders use trigonometry type stuff where they have to use equations and substitute values in. Electricians in particular have got to use equations where they substitute different values in to work out amps and all sorts of stuff. So this stuff is really relevant. This is the guts of it. This is what the sort of stuff you need to understand. Alright, it's important to be able to convert word descriptions of worded problems to mathematical expressions. So if you struggled with that, exercise 5A, you need to do more practice with that stuff. And if you search on the internet, just doing a basic search like writing algebraic expressions, you probably find plenty of sites that have practice sheets and problems to help you with that, and I'll suggest you do that to get better at it. Okay, all right. Just a little bit of info. Many different situations can be modelled with algebraic expressions. To apply an expression, the variables should be clearly defined. So the variables need to be clearly defined. All right, and then known values should be substituted for the variables. So you've got to know what the variables are, and we'll go through a few examples very shortly. Once you know what the variables are, then you can substitute known values in for those variables. So again, that goes back to exercise, what was it, 5B or D. Okay, where we substituted values into equations to solve them. All right, so this is a bit of a combination of both of them, both those exercises. So just some simple practice here. Okay, so write expressions for each of the following. So the total cost in dollars of 10 bottles if each bottle cost X dollars. Okay, so what do you think this is going to look like? Total cost in dollars of 10 bottles if each bottle costs $10. All right, so now I'm going to go a little bit further. So we want the total cost. So I'm going to say the cost of our bottles, all right, is going to equal, well, in this case, 10, because we've got 10 bottles, multiplied by how much does each bottle cost? Well, in this case, X dollars. Okay, so the total cost equals 10 by X. So to write that correctly, cost equals 10x. All right, so that's our algebraic expression. 10 by whatever the cost is will give us the total cost of those bottles. All right. Part B, the total cost in dollars of hiring a plumber for N hours, and the plumber charges a call out. Actually, we're not going to do that one because we're going to go on to the next page and do that one, I believe. Yeah, I did split them up. All right, just give me a minute. All right, no, so that's part A. All right, so that one's fairly easy, which is on this next slide. I did remember I split them up, but anyway. All right, so that one should be fairly easy because you have done that sort of stuff very early on. All right, so hopefully you understand that, which is that one. We're going to go on to this one. And this one is a little bit higher level, but this is the one I really want you guys to understand. All right. Part B, the total cost in dollars for hiring a plumber for N hours. All right, so we don't know how many hours, just the certain number of hours. Now the plumber charges a $30 call out fee, then on top of that is $60 per hour. Okay, so just to get him to come out to your house is a $30 charge. All right, so if we're going to look at our total cost, so cost equals what's the rest of our algebraic expression going to look like? What numbers do we know? What amounts do we know? Okay, so let's look at the rest of it. We don't know our hours. Okay, so we do not know our hours at this point. the plumber charges a $30 call out fee. So regardless of how many hours the plumber works at our house, all right, is going to charge us $30 just for coming out. So that $30 is going to contribute to that overall cost, isn't it? Okay, so it's $30 and then plus, giving you a bit of a hint there, $60 per hour. So we've got to add $60, okay, per hour. Now, do we know how many hours this plumber is going to be there? No, we don't. So what's the variable we're going to use for that? It is going to be n hours. So it's got to be 60 times n. All right, and that is, I'm saying all right a lot, aren't I? That is our total cost. So our total cost for the plumber, C, is represented by the variable C, equals 30 plus, let's simplify that to make it look like algebra, 60n. Okay, so if I throw an example at you, and I want you to pause this video in a second and work it out. If I said, okay, the plumber worked for 3 hours, what was the total cost of the plumber? Using this expression, all right, what did I say? We're going to hire him for, what was it, 3 hours? Okay, so what part of this equation, this expression here, is represented by this 3 hours? Okay, hopefully you say, oh, it's the n because it's n hours. That's how the cost of hiring the plumber for n hours. Okay, so that 3 has to come in for where this n is. Okay, so I want you to pause the video now and I want you to work out what the cost is and then come back and we'll compare answers. Off you go. Okay, hopefully you've done that. Again, please make sure you do this. Go off and do that stuff that I ask because you're just hurting yourself if you don't. Okay, let's have a go. So if we're going to go for 3 hours, plumber works for 3 hours, the total cost equals $30 call out fee plus $60 an hour for 3 hours. So our total cost equals 30 plus 60 by 3 is 180. So our total cost is 30 plus 180, which is $210. Okay, so that's a bit of an idea of how algebra can be used. All right, and that gives you the total cost. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Okay, I'm going to actually rub all that stuff out. Where's my razor? Here. Just going to rub all this out because we're going to do the second problem. All right, so while I'm doing this, let's have a look at the second problem. So, part C here. Part C, up here, as I rub some of it out. A plumber charges, this time, $60 call out fee plus $50 an hour. Use an expression, so firstly you've got to create an expression to find out how much, oops, I'm getting rid of that as well, how much an 8-hour job would cost. So I've just gone through an example with you. Okay, so I want you to have a go on your own of creating the expression for that problem, and I want you to find the answer for it. Okay, so pause now, have a go. Doesn't matter if you get things wrong or you're not sure, you do what you think is the right way. Go back and review what we just did previously and see what you come up with. Okay, so off you go. Go now. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome back. Again, hopefully you've done it. So a plumber charges $60 call out fee. So our total cost for a plumber is going to be $60 plus $50 per hour. So 50N. That should have been your expression that you got. Okay, so 60 plus 50 times how many ever hours that plumber works for you. So in this case, we've got an 8-hour job. So that 8-hour job, 8, needs to be substituted in for that N. So it should look like this. C equals 60 plus 50 times 8, which equals 60 plus, what's 50 times 8? Hopefully you've got 400. So our total cost is $460. Okay, not hard. Really, really simple. Really simple. I'm going to do one other example with you, and I've just decided I'm going to do this just off the cusp while we're going through that. Let's talk mobile phones. All right, just say you've got a mobile phone plan where, all right, so we've got a mobile phone plan. Whoops. Where what will we do? We'll do it has a connection fee. So every time you ring someone, it's got a connection fee. I'll be pretty expensive here, say $2. So every time you make contact with a person, ring anyone, it costs you $2. Just say then the cost per minute. Oh geez, the writing's horrendous here. So the cost per minute is going to be 0.20 cents. All right, or $0.2. So 20 cents. So connection fee is $2. Cost per minute is 20 cents per minute. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do, just say we ring up someone. Firstly, I want you to come up with an algebraic expression. Okay. Then once you've got your expression, just say we talk to someone for 10 minutes. Again, that's really bad, Em. For 10 minutes, how much are we going to be charged using this mobile plan? All right, so I want you to pause, create your expression, and substitute the values in that need to be substituted, and I want you to work out a cost. Pause now, go. Okay, welcome back. Let's have a crack at this. So, the total cost of a call on this plan, connection fee of $2. So we should have the $2 there, plus cost per minute is 0.2 per minute. So it doesn't matter what you use there. You could use a T, could use an M for minute. Okay, up to you. I'm going to use a T in this case for time. Okay, so 2 plus 0.2 T. All right. What's our variable we've got here? Well, we're trying to work out what the cost is, so we can't substitute anything for that. We can for the time here. All right, and I said 10 minutes. So substitute that in. We've got a $2 connection fee plus 0.2 multiplied by 10, okay, which equals 0 plus, what's 0.2 multiplied by 10? Hopefully you get, is it $2? I better check that myself. Sorry, I've got a little mental blank. Sorry, excuse me for a minute. Calculator, let's do this together. 0.2 multiplied by 10 is $2. So I am right. Okay, very good. All right, so 0.2 by 10 is $2. Don't know why I doubted myself, really. So $2 connection fee, $2 for talking for 10 minutes at 20 cents a minute gives us a total cost of that phone call is $4. Okay, so that's another way that you can use algebra. All right, and when you get a bit older and you start looking at your own mobile phone plans, you may use algebra to work out which plan is best for you. All right, and you're going to have different plans that have different cost per month, different call rates and things like that. You can get a bit of an idea for yourself how much it's going to cost you. All right, so hopefully that is algebra in action. That is how we can use it. All right, so hopefully that makes sense for you. Particularly take notice of this example. I'm giving you a bit of a hint here because you might see it again somewhere. All right, a little bit different because there might be something about a monthly charge and then the cost per minute that way. But yeah, maybe if you know how to do this one, it might give you a bit of an advantage. All right, hopefully that makes sense to you. Good luck, get into 5G, let's finish this off, power on, do some revision, and do well in the final test. Thanks guys, bye bye.